All right, so we're back and ready to dive in. Today we're looking at, you guessed it, animal laws.
Animal laws in the U.S., to be exact.
You got it, and we've got, well, let's just say, some interesting ones, huh? We found this video online, kind of a funny roundup of, those laws you hear about and think, wait, really?
Right, those head scratchers.
Exactly, but I think, and you can tell if I'm wrong here, but there's often like a story behind these laws, right?
hmm
Like there's a reason, even if it seems crazy now.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, they can be like little windows into different times and ways of thinking about the relationship between people and animals.
Okay, so let's get into it. First up, we're going to Kentucky.
The bluegrass state?
Yeah, and apparently you can't have ice cream in your back pocket there.
That's right, it's against the law.
Okay, now I know what you're thinking because I was thinking the same thing. Like, is this some kind of weird ice cream etiquette rule?
Well, no, it's actually about horses. Yep, horse theft. Seems back in the day this was a big problem, and some thieves would use ice cream, to lure horses away, so the law was to stop that.
So basically, no sneaky ice cream bribes for runaway horses.
Exactly.
Okay, that's kind of amazing. It makes you wonder, though, right? Like, was it just about the horses, or was there maybe like a public decency thing, too? Sticky back pockets and all.
Hmm. That's an interesting thought. Yeah, who knows? Maybe they were just ahead of their time on that one.
Right. Okay, well, moving on. Let's talk about Florida. And listen, this one's a little delicate, but it's about, well, dogs.
Ah, yes, Florida and its unique approach to canine regulations.
So apparently dogs can't, mate within 500 yards of a church.
It is, shall we say, a rather specific statute.
It is, and honestly, I'm kind of stumped on this one. Noise complaints, maybe?
It's possible churches are generally places where, peace and quiet are expected, or maybe it was more about maintaining a certain decorum, a sense of respect for the sanctity of the location.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. But how do you even enforce a law like that?
Good question. I mean, how would you even prove it?
Right. It's a head scratcher for sure. Okay, on to Arizona, shall we? They've got a law about camels. No
Camels.
camel hunting.
Okay, on the surface, that seems, well, pretty obvious. I mean, are there herds of wild camels roaming Arizona?
That's what I thought. But there's a historical twist here. Turns out the U.S. Army, back in the 1800s, they tried using camels.
Camels in the U.S. Army.
Yep, the Camel Corps, they called it. They thought camels would be, perfect for the desert.
Wow, I had no idea. Okay, history lesson of the day for sure.
Right. Okay, so now we're going to take a quick detour into myth-busting territory. Our video mentioned a law in Massachusetts, something about parrots.
Oh, yes, the parrot voting law.
You've heard of it.
Oh, it makes the rounds online. But as fun as it sounds, it's not actually real. Massachusetts does not, in fact, require its parrots to participate in elections.
Yeah. It's a good reminder, though, right? Not everything you see online is true. I admit I've fallen for my fair share of internet hoaxes. It's so easy to get caught up in the, like, oh, wow factor
Yeah.
and forget to check if it's legit.
Absolutely. Critical thinking is key.
Couldn't agree more. Okay, well, to wrap things up, let's talk about a law that's definitely no joke. It's actually a federal crime to harass whales.
Yes, and it's a serious matter.
So what counts as harassment?
Well, it's not just about like physically touching a whale, it's about any action that could disturb or harm them. So things like chasing them with boats, getting too close, or using loud sonar that messes with their communication.
So basically, give whales their space.
That's the main idea. These laws, they reflect a growing understanding, I think, that whales are intelligent creatures, they have complex social structures, and they need to be protected.
It's interesting, right? We started off with these kind of silly, like almost funny laws, and now we're talking about, federal crimes.
It just shows how diverse our relationship with animals is and how the law tries to, well, try to create boundaries and guidelines for how we interact with them.
Exactly. And that's something for all of us to think about, right? What are the animal laws in our own states? What do they say about, like, our values and our history?
It's a great question to explore, and it might lead to some surprising discoveries.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe you'll even find a law that's just as weird as the Kentucky ice cream one.
It's entirely possible.
So go out there, do some digging, and let us know what you find.
Happy